the Canada Goose, one of the most common but less understood birds here in eastern Pennsylvania. Now we're out here in the dead of winter showing you guys one of the birds that we have all year round. The Canada Goose is one of the larger species of water birds we have here in eastern Pennsylvania. These guys can have a wingspan of up to 5 feet in length, and they can live to be 15 to 24 years in the wild. Now, the Canada Goose is native to North America. They can be found everywhere from Canada all the way down through northern Mexico. Believe it or not, the Canada Goose has actually been recorded in Russia, Northern Europe, and was even introduced to New Zealand, where they're considered a pest species. But here in eastern Pennsylvania, these guys aren't a pest species. They're an integral part of the deciduous ecosystem. Luckily, these guys are of least concern on the IUCN Red List and are a plentiful species. Now this is the preferred habitat of the common Canada goose. They are waterfowl, so they are going to spend most of their time at or by the water's edge. In Pennsylvania, these guys are hanging out by lakes, rivers, or other aquatic ecosystems. Now in this clip, we can see the Canada geese actually grazing. So these guys are primarily herbivorous, meaning that they're mostly eating plants in their native habitat. In Pennsylvania, these guys will be eating lots of the grasses and vegetation. They'll also be eating a lot of pond weeds, but on occasion, they can be seen eating small crustaceans and small fish. There are two common misconceptions concerning the name of the Canada Goose. The first one is a lot of people who don't know about zoology will see these guys and actually call them Canadian geese. Oh look, there go the Canadian geese, right? So they're actually called Canada geese, but that name does not come from where a lot of people think it does. A lot of people think that the Canada Goose was named for John Canada, a member of the Lewis and Clark expedition. And whereas it's very possible that John Canada came across the Canada Goose on his expeditions, the Canada Goose was first described by Carl Linnaeus in the 18th century. The Latin name of the Canada Goose is Branta canadensis, which means from Canada. Now what you're seeing throughout this shot is very common herd behavior in herbivorous animals. So, you can see every so often, one of the geese will poke their head up, and that's a defense mechanism, so while they're all eating, they know that they're secure from any of their predators. Throughout the range of the Canada Goose, they have a couple of predators, including the American black bear, a couple species of brown bears, the red fox, and the gray wolf. But here in eastern Pennsylvania, an adult Canada Goose really has no predators to fear. Now we can see here some Canada geese leaving the water, and because of the oil that's covering their feathers, they are actually completely waterproof. So the water will just roll right off of these guys, so they come out nice and dry. Now this iconic behavior is known as the V formation. Though we don't know exactly why they do this, the leading scientific theory suggests that it helps to conserve their energy by reducing the wind resistance of the bird behind them. Canada geese follow an annual migration path that takes them from their breeding grounds in Canada all the way to the southern US and parts of northern Mexico, and this strange technique allows them to make this journey with relative ease. So bro, why should we care about Canada geese? They're extremely common and they poop everywhere. Well, Canada geese scat actually acts as a natural fertilizer, so it can be used to replenish the grasses that they're feeding on. The Canada goose is also one of the primary consumers of the pondweed Alodia, an invasive species that can take over an aquatic ecosystem in a matter of weeks. Another important thing about the Canada goose is they're a species that are very common in urban areas. So humans interact with them a lot. And the way that we interact with the native wildlife that we have is a great reflection of how we will all act around wildlife that really needs our help. That's why it's so important that we treat all wildlife with respect, and the Canada Goose is a perfect example of that. We hope that you guys have enjoyed this brief look into the lives of the Canada Goose. Leave a comment down below of what species you want to see us cover in the next episode of the Wildlife Brothers. And make sure to subscribe so you can catch all of the new wildlife content that will be coming out very soon. Thanks for watching, guys!